All right, with your geolocation all set, we're going to do something that allows us to take the topography and put it into Revit. Okay, it's a really cool trick because Revit doesn't have anything like this. It won't auto-generate a topography. But if we steal it from SketchUp, we can have everything we need. Now, the one problem is you've probably already watched the first video and you've done a lot of modifications to this. In fact, right now you can't even see my topo. I'm going to turn it on so you can, and turn off the flat one, or other way around. This always confuses me. There we go. So if you've already added your contours and maybe you've put in your mass model and you've added all the trees, that's okay. It's easier if you haven't, but if you have, that's okay. Here's what we're going to do. We need to get this to a point where there is nothing more than this one piece, just this one topo. So go ahead and save your project. Do a save as. Okay, I'm going to go find my projects in OneDrive. Geolocations. Oops, not that one. Site model. Okay, and I'm going to just do test site. You can call yours project site or whatever you want. Okay, if this isn't already unlocked, then unlock it. And I'm going to turn on the flat site here too, so that I can explode these. Okay, what we want to do is make sure that all the layers have everything turned on so that we can see what's in here and start deleting it out. Anything other than just this one piece, we don't want it. We hit delete. I'll select all my trees, delete. Contours, if you have them, delete. And what you can do there is you can actually just turn off the elevated site so that you can select all the contours and then hit delete. Then turn that elevated site back on. Same thing for your mass model. Make sure to select all of it and then delete it out. Okay, so what I have left is a bunch of tags, but really just one of them is being used. And that'll work. That's all I got to do. Okay, go ahead and hit save again, just in case. And now we're going to export this. File, export. It's got to be a 3D model. And you want to save this with some new name. I'll call this test site again, and make sure that it's going to be a DWG. Okay, hit the drop down here, find the DWG, and then I'm going to hit export. And there it goes. Really fast, really easy. We're ready now to go over into Revit. Now let me just explain. Nothing that I'm going to do in this video is going to be submitted for this assignment. This is purely out of preparation for what's up and coming. Like I said, eventually you're going to be in Revit for everything we do here, and this is just going to get that site all ready to go. The stuff you submit was all shown in the previous video. Okay, let's go into Revit, and you want to go to a new project. Make sure to browse. We don't want that multidiscipline. Instead, we want to make this residential. Click open and OK. And immediately let's open up the site plan. And we're going to go insert. We're going to bring in that CAD file. Import CAD. Looks like I got to go find mine, which you might have to click here to find your OneDrive. And then I'm going to courses, 385, winter site model, and here's my test site. Okay, I'll just click open. And you might not see anything. Double click on the wheel of your mouse. There we go. There's mine. And better yet, let's check it out in 3D. Wow. That's already pretty cool. This isn't where I mean to end with this, but that is pretty awesome. Once again, we got everything we needed, all the topo, and we didn't have to do very much work to get it. So this is a pretty slick trick. Okay, back in your first floor, that's going to show up, and we really don't want that to show up, so I'm just going to hide it here. Okay, now let's go back into 3D. And we need to convert this into a Toposolid. So in the end, I won't need this at all. This is just a CAD file. We want to use something that's native to Revit. So I'm going to go Massing and Site, and then a Toposolid, and then Create from Import. Tell it you want it to be a CAD file. Click on it. And because we deleted everything off of the layers or tags, you should be able to leave these all selected and it won't make any difference. Okay, I'll click OK. And there you go. We got it. Okay, I don't need that CAD file anymore. Let's select the CAD file. Be careful here. You might accidentally select the Toposolid. Hit Shift and then try it again, or sorry, Tab. There we go. I tapped Tab. I selected just the CAD file. I know it's the CAD file. It says DWG. Now I can hit Delete. It's pinned. It won't let you. So unpin and then hit Delete. There. Now it's gone. Okay, this looks a little bit weird. It is good. It's cool, but it does look a little bit weird. And the reason why is there are just way too many topo lines, right? Those are the topo lines, and they do a strange thing where they just like stop suddenly. Let's fix that. Select this, go Edit Type, and then find your contour display. We'll edit that. And we don't want 5 foot and 1 foot primary and secondary contours. We'd much rather do something. Everybody's project will be different. In fact, you might actually like yours at 5 and 1. My site's just too big. I'm going to go instead with something like, let's make my primary every 10 feet, and let's make my secondary every 20 feet. Okay, and then I'll click OK and hit Apply. Oh, much better. Okay, and really, that maybe those are strange numbers. I mean, they overlap, right? Every primary hits a secondary, so maybe some other number, I don't know, would be better. But this actually looks a lot better. There's one more strange thing about it, and that is that I can't see them still below this line, and that's being controlled right here. It's being told where to start. So it's starting at -100. We could say we want you to start at like -500 feet. Now that's only going to affect my secondary, not my primary. So maybe around the site, we can see every 10 feet, but then down here where I'm not building in that area, I'm probably building up here. So where I'm building, I get every 10 feet, or maybe I change it to every 5, who knows? But down here, it's more spread out. Okay, that's a good way to use your primary and your secondary contours. Okay, now the next thing is its color is not very good. If you were to go in here and look at it in consistent colors, it's just a big gray site. Nobody wants to build on a big gray site. Let's fix that. It's fast and it's easy to do. So I'm just going to go Edit Type and edit my structure. This is why it's gray, has no material assignment. Let's go ahead and add one. And I'm just going to create a new one. Let's go Create New Material. We'll call this, right click and rename it. And I'm just going to call it Plants. And I want it to be called such because I want to make this thing green. And under the Graphics tab, I can just give it a color, probably somewhere in here. I want it to be not like bright green, but something that is less saturated. I don't want it to be bluish, so I'm going over towards the yellow side. And yeah, somewhere in there I like it. You can brighten it up a little bit. Pick a color that you like. Click OK. And in the end, there you go. We've got ourselves a much more attractive looking Toposolid. Okay, now this last bit is probably more for the future, but I just want you to get thinking about what you can do, and maybe some of you want to get started a little bit earlier. So if I go into my first floor, this is the area that it thinks I want to build in. Okay, so hopefully it's right. If not, select that site and you can move it around. I'm using my arrow keys. You can move it around, or you can actually drag it. You might want to also think about, where is this thing in 3D? Because if I go to like an elevation, once again, this is where it wants me to build or thinks I'm going to, and is this in a good spot? Sometimes I like to just do a section for that. Right? Sometimes I just go architecture, or no, right here, section, and cut it through. And I don't need to see everything for the next 500 feet. We'll just pull it back. And this will help me to know, I'm going to zoom in to click on that, if there's land right where my first floor is supposed to go. Looks like there is. Okay. Okay, so this one looks like it's pretty good. So I'm going to go to my first floor, and I'm just going to quickly, here, I don't need this anymore. I'm going to quickly set up a little floor, and this don't try to make this perfect. This doesn't need to match what your floor will end up being. I just want to show you that I can put in a floor element, the generic 12, that's fine. Click OK here. It's going to tell me, oh, these two they're highlighted because they overlap. And look at that, they do. Sure enough, they overlap. And the site could be lifted slightly up or down. If I want more overlap, right now it says it's 515, negative 515. If I do negative 514, that'll raise it up just a little bit, give me even slightly more overlap. Now watch what I can do with this. And by the way, this should kind of match the mass model for you. You know, this is a really good tool for knowing, how do I want this thing oriented? In fact, maybe you want your first floor to be directed like this. In other words, you would be looking towards the northwest when you look out the windows, not looking due north. And for that matter, if that's the case, let's pin this so it can't be selected, so that I can actually pin. Here, I'm going to turn off select elements by face. I'm going to select those elevation markers while I do this. Okay, RO for rotate, and maybe this is the orientation. And I needed those things to rotate because that's indeed where the building facades are going to be oriented. Okay, now let's get back to where I was going with this. Watch what I can do. I'll take that floor and actually select the Toposolid and unpin it. I probably shouldn't have pinned it. Unpin it, and you'll get these tools. Excavate, go pick the floor, and it will just carve right into the hillside. And the more I move this, like let's say that I move this thing down -2 feet, the more carving it's going to do. So it's just smart. You know, these two just interact with each other perfectly. And again, this doesn't need to match your floor plan perfectly. I mean, that could be part of the site. You know, maybe you want retaining walls and landscaping over here. Maybe this is a pad that you can set your building onto. There's so many cool ways that you can use this. And you don't even need to get into it right now. I just want you to see and know what you can do with it. And then the last thing would be, if you go into your site plan and everything is oriented like this, where it's skewed, then it's going to be the same way in your first floor. We'll turn off the site here. We'll just hide it. And you're going to go, but I don't want to be drawing walls that are skewed like this. You know, that's way too hard to do a project like that. So the solution is that we're going to go to Manage and then hit the drop down here, and we're going to rotate Project North. Not True North, it's got to be Project. Rotate Project North, and you can do it at increments, or you can say just pick a line or a plane that corresponds with what you want to be facing north and or east or west. So you never know exactly what it's going to do, but I'm going to click on that, and I think this will work. If I click on this, let's see. Okay, it rotated it perfectly. That way is facing north. If that didn't work for you, you can always go and do it again and use the 90 and the 180 to get it just right. But what happened now is that when I'm in my first floor, I can actually come over here to, let me see, where to go? Orientation, Project North or True North. This is True North, where you know the sun patterns are going to work on the building according to True North. But when I'm building, I want Project North. And the same can be done in your site plan. This would be Project North, but if I want to see how the sun works, I go to True North. And everything works perfectly. And fortunately, I rotated these tags so that if I look at it straight on, then they're going to be oriented to the house. Super cool stuff. All of this is just awesome, and it's fun, and it gives you a chance now. If you're ready, you get to start working in this area in Revit, and we don't have to do anything else with SketchUp. Okay, that's it.